Alright guys, my name is Tyler aka Nanogenix, and today guys we are going to go over the top 5 features that I think would bring up the quality of life of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle that I think should definitely eventually come to Dokkan Battle, and that I feel like some of these could absolutely at one point in time come to Dokkan Battle. So to start this list off, I'm going to go ahead and get a few things out of the way that won't necessarily be on my list of top 5 things, but that I do see from time to time in the community, where people will say it either on the sub, where people tweet it at me, or I'll see it in my comments section, or just randomly see it somewhere on the internet. A few of those are something like in-game chat. I think that would be great, but we're going for more of an overall quality of life increase, and I know a lot of you guys would love to have an in-game chat in that, but I can see where the developers are like, is it really worth, because they already have like Amino, they already have Discord, Twitter, etc. that you can use to communicate between one another without having to go through the whole process of implementing that into the game. Another thing would be a clan system. I do think a clan system would be cool, but we're going to talk about that more in just a second. But what does it really benefit the user base? And then one of the last things that I've saw is, can we please change our in-game music? I think that would be great, but does that really increase the longevity of this game and really bring up the quality of life to it? Some would actually say yes. And while yes, there are plenty of tracks I would like to listen to when I'm not doing a boss battle and everything else, but to be honest, for the most part, I play that game without sound on at this point. And I usually have either music playing with my headphones in, or I'm doing something else and listening to the music off of that. So that's why that doesn't make my top but my top 5 list here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead, let's hop in, let's talk about the top 5 features that need to come to Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle at some point in time, in my opinion. And before we start, I want to hear back from you guys. What are some suggestions you guys would like to see in this game right now? Let me know, and then you can go back and edit your comment and be like, yo, you actually mentioned that. So let's get started with number 5, which is changeable card art. And while yes, this could kind of be qualified as something as we said before with those other things I just mentioned, I still think this would be a very big thing for the community. A lot of people, a lot of the times, whenever these cards drop, Hadosama 7 mines the data and everything drops, and we'll kind of have some discussions. I'll retweet things and I'll quote tweet things and stuff like that, and a lot of people say, okay, so the non-Dokkan card art actually looks better than the Dokkan card art, and that happens a lot. So it would be fantastic if you could select your own card art. Now, I've said this in previous videos, some videos and gameplay videos, stuff like that. The only negative is that if it changes the thumbnail, whenever you're trying to select your friend or your guest or whatever it might be as your second leader, it could get confusing if I like the Rose card art, the OG Rose card art versus the TUR one, and what I'm seeing is the un-Dokkan card art, but actually it is a Dokkan Awakened one, level 120. So it would require me to click on it, select it, and let it load all the way through to know that, oh wait, this guy is actually 100%, and well, I guess we would know with a star, but this guy is actually salty in the attribute system, as well as is Dokkan Awakened, is level 120, has crazy awesome stats, but looks like an un-Dokkan Rose. So I can see where there might be some complications in there. Maybe they could add a nice little another star type thing, like an asterisk or something, to let you know, hey, this guy is just using this card art, but actually it is a Dokkan Awakened card. I think it'd be fantastic, because I get this a lot when those things drop. I get this a lot where people say they want this in the game, and me personally, why not? Like, if I Dokkan Awaken my card, I put the work in, I put the time in, but I enjoy the other card art, why not just let me use the other card art? Not a big deal at all. Number 4, and this one probably some people will say, why isn't this higher on the list? But we're gonna get there. Number 4 for me is co-op. I think co-op would be fantastic in a game like this. Something like Naruto on the mobile Naruto game handles co-op very well, it seems like. I participated in co-op on Naruto just a handful of times, but when I did, it did seem like it worked pretty well, and it did seem enjoyable and something that community really enjoys. And to go even further into co-op, something they could absolutely do is introduce harder bosses. There's more and more people that play this game, so it's not as big of a deal as something like Pokemon Go right now that just introduced raids. And it's kind of hard to get a group of people now in Pokemon Go together to do a raid. So it would be cool if Dokkan Battle would introduce that same thing, and say me and 2 or 3 other people could go into an actual raid that is pretty difficult, and we all have to bring our, maybe it's not a full team of 6, but something, maybe it is, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a team of 7 people that all go into a raid, all queue up at one time and go into an actual raid, this really incredibly hard boss, and you bring the character that suits, you know, what you need. You know, you organize it and everything else, and you bring a character that's going to be, you know, a tank, going to be the DPS, going to be support, you know, like TN or something like that in a mono tech team, and you all take on a raid boss together. That would be awesome. So co-op, I think, would be fantastic. And so you may say, well, if there's going to introduce co-op, then let's get in-game chat again. I feel like if you're going to do that, you're probably going to be on a Discord call, because you can run a Discord call while you're in Dokkan Battle on your phone. You're going to be in something else, probably communicating with one another anyway, and it's probably going to handle a lot better than they could ever incorporate into Dokkan Battle app anyway. Number three is multiplayer, and the reason, which is honestly the spawn of me wanting to make this. I've had people ask me to make a video similar to what I'm doing right now. You know, Nano, what's something you like to see in the games, like that, make a video over it and stuff. And since multiplayer has been a speculation for the last week because of the live event later this week, I figured let's talk about multiplayer. So to me, I've had some people say, well, Nano, the races thing you're talking about is more of a time trial thing, not so much multiplayer. When people think multiplayer, they think of PvP, literally world tournament, but you're lining up against the other. And the only way that would ever really work would be if it was turn-based, and not so much just like a race between us, like tapping the bubbles and stuff. And whoever taps the bubbles, whoever gets super taxed off, is one who's going to win. It would have to absolutely be a turn-based style thing. But I still think, to me, even if all I'm doing is time trialing you, you and I queue up together, I can't see what you're doing, you can't see what I'm doing. Maybe there is maybe a progress bar similar to like when you're in Mario Kart and you can see like them going around the track. But I still consider that multiplayer. I still absolutely consider a boss rush time trial multiplayer in my eyes. Let me know down below what you guys think. I've heard a lot of you guys say that you don't consider the multiplayer. Multiplayer is full-on PvP. And I still say a time trial thing against one another where you don't see their gameplay. I feel like it'd be kind of easy for them to implement something where it just tracks your progress through the boss rush or something. Whoever gets to it in the fastest amount of time wins. That to me still counts as multiplayer. But let me know. Number three still to me is multiplayer. Number two, coming in at number two, is something for the love of everything. I have, over the course of like 1.5 years of me covering this game here on YouTube, have been like, Nano, why can't they do this? Nano, I want this in this game. And that is trading. Why in the world can trading not be a thing? Guess why? Well, guess why a lot of people like to say anyway, rolling accounts. Well, I have my main account that I put a bunch of money into, and I want this brand new Super Vegito card, or this brand new Vegito Blue, or this brand new SSJ3 Tech Goku. I'm just gonna go roll account, get that Goku on that account, and I'm just gonna trade it off to my main account for some SR or something. Well, here's the thing: add hardcore limitations to it. If you're going to implement something like trading into a game like this that is so heavily dependent upon these cards, and you pulling these cards and everything else, requires certain things to be met. So let's say right now I feel like probably level 250 is probably a solid bet for someone who's playing a while, or something you can go towards, because there's always triple, quadruple, not always quadruple, but always some sort of XP boost and everything else. To require it to be like rank, you have to be ranked 250, and you have to be transferring or trading an SSR for an SSR. And maybe even go farther than that, right? Maybe it has to be a same cost. So I can't trade you a 9 cost SSR for a 24 cost SSR or something of that nature. But I still think trading could be a thing in this game, because, for example, when I was pulling, and still have been pulling, so many intelligence Trunkses, I could have traded someone one of my like 5 Trunkses at the time for their Merge Zamasu they pulled too. And it would be a fair trade-off, right? So instead of them throwing it into the attribute system at the time, they could have just traded me one of their Merge Zamasu. Same thing goes for me. I could have just not put one in the attribute system at the time for my intelligence Trunks. I'm using this as an example because this is where I got brought up hardcore for me, is like, Nano, you pulled so many of those Trunkses, I pulled so many of these Merge Zamasus, if only we could trade. And yeah, that'd be awesome. Require me to be level 250, that way it can't be a brand new account. And if it is, you've put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it to get a brand new account to level 250, and require it to be an SSR for an SSR, and even go farther, but it has to be at least the same cost or higher. So if I'm trading you a 24 and you want to trade me a 32 cost SSR, then that's okay. But if it's just a dummy account and I've got an SSR Yamcha trading it for an SSR Merge Zamasu, okay, then fair enough, that's not going to work. So I don't know, guys. I feel like they can handle trading in this game. Let me know down below what you guys think as well. And the last and top thing for me anyways, is purchasable SSR cards. And yes, I know they are in the Baba shop. Yes, they aren't bad, but they're not great. But I still fully believe, and the main thing this comes from, and there may be other games that handle it in some way or form or fashion, so let me know down below as well. Again, these videos are as much community interaction with you guys as they are me making this video for you guys to watch and enjoy, but I still think purchasable cards is a thing that could happen in this game. And yes, put them behind some crazy astronomical Baba point amount, Zenny amount, or something that does still require a lot of effort, a lot of work, possibly still a lot of real world money. But I don't see why I couldn't buy, say, an SSJ4 Goku for 500,000 Baba points, because let me tell you, even with all of the money I put into this game, all the summons I've done, 500,000 Baba points is still moderately hard to come by. I mean, I could sell a lot of SSRs and probably get there faster, but I'm selling a lot of my SSR pools to do so. So 500,000 would be the equivalent of, let's see, you get 10,000 for an SSR. So 10 SSRs get you, so it'd be literally 50 SSRs to be able to just buy one. But still, like, if it's that card that you've summoned so hardcore for, and you still cannot pull, right? You've put 2,000 stones in for, and you still can't pull it. And I'm not even saying that the LR should be even involved in this. This is I just not thought about it. Literally just crossed my mind. Nano, you're saying this so you can buy an LR. No, like, even if that's not even the case, but during an event, maybe that's how they handle it. During a certain Dokkan Festival event, so the Intelligence Gogeta and Strength Janemba, you can't summon that Gogeta, but you got several Janembas. You've Baba enough to be 200,000. You already had 300,000 saved away, and 500,000 Baba points get you your Intelligence Gogeta. You still had to summon a lot. You still had to put a lot of money into the game, but even though you couldn't ever pull it, even after all that craziness, you could still, would be really expensive, but still give away your Baba points to finally obtain that SSR. And the main thing I pull that from is Hearthstone. So if on Hearthstone I can't ever get a legendary that I really need to run for a particular deck, it's going to take a lot of my dust to do so, because you can dust cards just the same way you do with Baba points. You dust them, it gives you back a currency that you can go use and craft that legendary rare that you're wanting to use in a deck. I'm using legendary rare because they're most expensive in that game, because in that game it goes common, uncommon, rare, epic, and then legendary. So my legendary is the equivalent of an SSR, not an LR in Dokkan Battle. But still, I spend money on the game. I then get rid of cards maybe I don't need, and then I use that to get a legendary rare. But it still took me maybe $50, $100 of actual real world money to be able to afford making that card. So I think that's something that should be in here. I think that'd be a huge quality of life upgrade, is being able to purchase these cards, even if they are behind a hardcore purchase wall of in-game currency. But still, that way, if you cannot pull it, you've tried your hardest to pull that card, you would still be able to get it. So that's my top 5 features I think that should come to this game as of right now. I may look back on this one day and be like, you know what, we need to make an updated version of this. I have some different ideas. Maybe some of this has been implemented or something of that nature, and we revisit this topic. But as of right now, these are the top 5 features I think that should be implemented into Dokkan Battle, because I view this as a platform and not really as just a game by itself. This is not an Uncharted that you play once and you get out of. This is more of a WoW that lasts 10 years. I don't know if this is the last 10 years, but we are 2 years deep, and the game is bigger than ever. So anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you guys enjoyed this top 5, consider hitting that like button. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. Keep on keeping on. Nanogenix here, signing off, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.